Mhm.
Hey, I'm Adam,
I'm Zoe.
and we are Bipolar
Bipolar Bears.
Bears. Hey, okay, so the theme of this show is simple. It's me and you, Zoe, talking about our experiences with bipolar disorder. And let's start out with the check-in. I'll give you my mood weather report first.
Mhm.
Oh man, it there was a lot of wind today, blowing in all sorts of clouds and creating a little bit of confusion in my head.
Mm.
I had a lot of time today to think, which sometimes can be good and sometimes can be a little bit much. So I just kind of hunkered down and prepared for this, and that helped me kind of get my day straight. Um,
Mm.
I have some like big moves I'm gonna be making coming up. Hopefully getting a job soon.
Mm. Yeah.
It would be nice. But I'll tell you more about that later.
Yeah.
How's your mood weather report going?
It's definitely been a bit cloudy, because my life at the moment is also kind of chaotic, also looking for a new job, etc. So we're on a similar journey right now. Other than that, I feel like it's pretty sunny because my mom is supporting me at the moment. Like she's in Berlin, and it's nice spending time with family and having that support right now. So, yeah.
How long has your mom been in Berlin? I know this, but
She's been here for like 2 weeks now, I think.
and
Um,
she came to help support you through a really hard
yeah,
time.
yeah, because my dog almost died, and it's been very hectic and also triggered me obviously quite a bit. So it was really good to kind of get that support and not be alone. Since I also live alone and friends have moved away, my best friend moved back to South Africa, so it would have been a bit lonely.
And your mom's a cool person. She's fun to hang out
Yeah,
with.
no, she's awesome. She's been rearranging my entire flat. It's like it doesn't look like it used to look like anymore, but it's amazing.
I have insight into your family because I married your sister. I know that you guys used to do it big on Halloween. You used to like paint the house
Yeah,
sometimes and
crazy, insane. I think it's because we're all like air signs. Like I'm an Aquarius, my mom's an Aquarius, Tabby is a Gemini. Like we're all insane.
you guys make moves, you starters.
Yeah. We need constant change and excitement.
Hey,
So that's why the huge Halloween parties where we would have to renovate the entire house after.
that's wild.
Yeah.
What a childhood memory to have. Just
Yeah. I mean, even now I painted my wall pink and like 2 days ago, and now I'm like, actually, I want it to be like a very light mint color. And this was like 2 days ago. So clearly I'm like, yeah,
these
quite.
are painting is pretty fun. Like
Mhm.
we've been painting our house. We painted you can't see it, but the walls behind the screen and to the left, we painted a
Mhm.
darker hue. Actually, you can't see it
Yeah.
right here.
I think I've seen that looks really nice. Yeah.
And
I
it's
think I've
nice.
seen it before. Yeah.
It's nice because it this was before your mom came, but it just kind of makes this little nook feel a little more cozy, just a dark
Yeah.
color.
No, for sure. For sure. I also found this whole like process with my flat very like therapeutic to just be creative and, get also change is good, changing
Def
things.
Definitely. Yeah. Your mom did that for us too when I was going
Mhm.
through the behavioral hospital. She came, and when I came back, like the living room was entirely different. Walls were painted. Her and Tabby just did the same thing. It is therapeutic though.
Yeah.
Um, I understand it's also feels kind of a sense of accomplishment. Tabby
Yeah, for
was
sure.
away in Hawaii, and I was like, I'm going to paint these two walls, and I'm going
Yeah.
to I think that was like the main thing I was gonna do. And it was getting closer to the time she was coming home, and I was like, I'm gonna do this. And I did it, and it felt
That's
really good.
amazing.
Yeah.
Yeah. And it made her probably really happy too. So
Yeah. And I was like, it's gonna either make her happy or it's gonna be like, oh, she would have given me more she would have given me more grace, but it could have been like, oh, I knew he wasn't going to do it, that whole I know she wouldn't
Did
have
it.
done me
So that's
like that, but
great.
all right, well, let's get into a quick disclaimer before we dive in. We're not medical professionals, and none of what we say should be taken as medical advice. And so the first time we kind of just touched base on what it is to what it is in our experience to be bipolar, and then we kind of went into the depressive states. And then now let's go into the mania aspect of it. Um, so I just took two definitions. They're coming straight out of the dictionary. So they're not coming out of the DSM. The DSM is like the Bible of mental health disorders, and it has like a little bit more technical jargon, but this is straight from the dictionary. So hypomania and mania. By the way, hypomania in my mind, when I first learned about it, I thought that would be like extra mania. That actually means like a little bit of mania. It's not, it's the opposite of what I would think of it. Like I would think of hypermania or hypomania. It
Yes,
would be like,
same. I actually didn't know that. I never thought about it, to be honest.
so hypomania definition, a mood disorder that is milder than mania and marked by symptoms of elevated or agitated mood, especially as a component of bipolar disorder. And then mania, a manifestation of bipolar disorder marked usually by high energy, racing thoughts, irritability, and rapid speech. So I've had both of these, and the going through all the treatments and like kind of support groups I've been through, one common theme is people kind of tend to miss their manias because in a manic state or a hypomanic state, things are going good. You're not necessarily, or I'm not necessarily like psychosis bad, which I think we touched base on with just a detachment from reality. But it is nothing that part if let me just read you let me read you the symptoms that have to be checked off similar to how we did the depression.
Yeah.
So both hypomania and mania must include 3 or more of these symptoms. So abnormally upbeat, jumpy or wired, increased activity, energy, or agitation, exaggerated sense of well-being and self-confidence, decreased need for sleep, unusual talkativeness, racing thoughts, distractibility, and poor decision making, buying sprees, sexual risks, foolish investments. Um, and like right off the bat, it feels like I when I hear this, I'm like, but that just means a good mood.
Mm.
And I think there's a distinction in
The
um
intensity.
what was that?
The intensity, maybe, like that it's not as balanced because of the ups and downs, and it's much more intense. And
I think that balance word is the key for me. I can be in a good mood, but those around me might be like, yo, you need to slow down. But so that's not balanced in my ecosystem. So it I think a lot of it has to be like the awareness of where you are and who's around you and how you're impacting those around you. And but like abnormally upbeat, you would think that's a good thing, and it's not. I don't think this is saying it's a good or a bad thing. It's just saying these are what doctors look for when they go to say, okay, you might be in a hypomanic state or a manic state. I personally relate because I've been in mania that which led to psychosis. I don't know if you relate at all to any of these.
I do, but in much milder forms. Like I don't have, or I don't think I've ever experienced like psychosis. The main thing I experience is really like a high level of confidence. Like I'm super confident. I also don't manage my money well, that's for sure. I just want to keep buying things, especially at like vintage stores. I just like can't control myself. Um, And then I have the racing thoughts for sure. And I feel just very hyped. And I always fear that low again, like
Mm.
those low periods.
I
Like I'm always,
think,
I don't want to feel that way again.
yeah, that fear I've heard before, like, because I'm doing those groups and people talk about missing the mania and kind of
Yeah,
because,
for
but I
sure.
think
I get that.
maybe, maybe I like one way to think about it is just because you're not in a manic state doesn't mean you're going to be in a depressive state. It seems like
Mm,
people think that bipolar is either one or the other, but
yeah,
really we're striving for that middle ground, that balance where,
yeah,
we're taking the proper steps to manage our money, or we're still upbeat, but we're not
yeah.
fearing, trying to like ride the wave to get away from depression or something like that.
I guess what's confusing to me sometimes is where I get upset almost at myself is that I would, depends on which way around, but sometimes I'd wake up super happy, hyped, and like ready to take on the world. And then like sometimes I have like crazy mood switches even during the day in one day. And then in the afternoon, I would have the worst mental breakdown for no reason and feeling entirely different, feeling um like my life doesn't make sense, like worthless, going down like just spiraling.
Mm,
That's really scary to me. That's I can't really predict how a day goes sometimes. And sometimes I have a week where I feel amazing, and then the following, or like 3 weeks ago, amazing, and then the following week is just like really dark thoughts. And I'm like, where's this coming from? So
mm.
that's scary to me.
Did your doctor use the words rapid cycling when they
For
were?
sure, yeah. Yeah.
I haven't I have not dealt with it on a rapid cycling basis. Mine seems to be like a slow burning. So I get this morning, like I got this sense of, oh man, it was a sense of just yearning for something that I didn't have, but there was no name for the thing that I wanted. It was
Mm,
like I'm alone in my house, which I love. Like it was,
mm,
I think there was I started being grateful, and that helped. I started writing down some things that I was grateful for because
mm.
I heard on the radio, like, instead, think, be grateful for the things you have. And that really helped. But it
Yeah,
was
for
this kind
sure.
of like, it was kind of like this fear, like, am I gonna this, am I gonna that, am I gonna this? It's just this rapid, I guess, those rapid racing
Yeah,
thoughts.
yeah. No, I
Mm.
get that. But you have both, right? Like
What?
both very extreme, like the mania and the
The
depression,
depression?
or
I get sad, but I don't get depressed anymore.
okay.
And not it like I got depressed last time. I got depressed, I kind of made, and I don't want, I'm gonna say this lightly because I know not depression's not a choice, but
Mm,
I made a choice to not get that low again.
mm,
Um and it's something that like is very personal to me, and I think that like it's hard to explain because I was at my lowest of lows, and I realized, how that life was worth living, and that
mm,
things are good no matter how hard they get.
mm.
And it stuck with me. I don't know why. I used to get mildly depressed in high school, like, oh, I don't have a girlfriend.
Oh, okay.
I'm
Yeah.
sad. And then I got really depressed when I was in my early or mid 20s. And you know, like I told you that the other time, I made a plan, to end my life. And I then thought about like how that would impact those around me. And I was like, cannot do that.
Yeah, no, I get that. I've had those thoughts too, also about like the people around me and stuff.
Yeah.
And for sure, I'm definitely more on the depression uh side of things. Like my mania isn't like super intense like it is for you possibly sometimes.
I'd say
Um
my mania is like slow burning, and then
yeah.
it turns to psychosis.
Okay, yeah. Yeah. No, for me, I've definitely been more depressed than crazy, like, than experiencing crazy mania.
Yeah.
Um, so yeah, that's something I'm really working through also by working through my triggers, as I've mentioned previously before.
How's that
Just like
going?
with it. It's going well. I need to find like a new therapist or another therapist because I feel like sometimes you get really comfortable with your therapist and then it's more like having tea together and chilling. You feel like you're talking to a friend. And I need someone that kind of pushes me, that gets to the root of things.
Yeah. I'm at that point with my therapist, and I like when you said that, I immediately wanted to be like, have you asked them to push you? And that might be something I should do with my therapist. Like, hey, can you like keep me in check? And she has been keeping me in check. She checks on the things I said I do, like the whole painting the wall thing. She checked on it,
Okay.
like applying
Oh,
for the
that's nice.
yeah.
Yeah. No,
So
mine is a bit more chaotic, but it's tough finding the right person for you.
yeah, it is.
I don't think that's so easy. So I think I still have a journey, like quite a while to go until I find someone. Maybe it's next week, maybe it's in 3 months, who knows? But,
I like that.
but I'll find someone eventually. And other than that, reading certain books, etc. Talking to you even is like therapy to me. So
Same. I like this.
yeah.
Okay, we got a really deep question here. What's your most recent favorite meal?
Oof. Hmm. So I absolutely love wraps. It's so basic, but
So,
I love buying wraps and putting like all sorts of stuff in it, like avocado, lettuce, I don't know, everything. I love dal as well, like curry stuff, and I
oh,
put it in
nice.
almost like a burrito. Like I just love
Ooh.
wraps. Like anything can go in there, and I think it's so that's kind of what I've been living off because it's also quick because I'm not very patient when it comes to cooking and
Yeah,
yeah.
cooking is a whole thing because you got the prep, you got the cooking, you got the eating, you got the cleanup.
Yeah, it's just like by the time I'm done cooking, I'm not hungry anymore because I feel like I look at the food for such a long time that I just like, lose interest. What's your favorite food?
Recently we actually last night we did cook a curry. So
Oh, nice.
that was like the
Amazing.
first time we together cooked a curry.
Oh, that's
Uh,
awesome.
we didn't make the curry. Next time we do it, we will make the curry. But there was Chinese eggplant, um,
Good, really.
shallots, zucchini, mushrooms, cabbage, and then we just put it
Mhm.
over rice.
Oh, that sounds amazing.
It was pretty dang good.
Yeah.
Um, We've been
Mhm.
exploring more with our vegetarian meals. We've been eating vegetarian for the most part,
Oh,
and
that's so good. Yeah.
it's it's interesting the cuisines that like really speak to that. We were talking about it's kind of like Thai. You can have
Mm,
such flavorful. It was Thai curry.
yeah.
Um,
Oh, that's amazing. Yeah, I love Thai food. Yeah, I mean, I've been a lifelong vegetarian. Except for every now and then I have salmon.
you like salmon? Oh, so good.
But overall, I've been like literally vegetarian for such a long time, and it's actually so simple. Um,
I
I'm
like
vegan also. I'm like in the middle of everything.
I really like wraps too. Like what my favorite thing I've been doing right now is sprouts and tomatoes and
Ooh,
avocado. I really like
oh,
sprouts.
that sounds so good. Me too.
Mhm.
Yeah, that sounds incredible.
Alrighty.
Hmm.
Coping skills. Coping skills are things we do to feel better and mitigate the symptoms that are ailing us. How are you coping? Sleep, piano, guitar, journaling, meditating.
Piano
Nice.
is a big one. I even told my mom this morning, like I started the day playing piano, practicing. and it's so good for me. I can't even begin to explain how good it feels to me. It's like meditation. Um, so yeah, meditation and playing piano helps a lot. And then also being just very disciplined with like social media and phone and etc. Just really checking in with yourself and gymming.
Oh,
Every day,
nice.
I'm like, I really don't want to hit the gym. And every day, no, I literally sit there and I'm like, I don't want to go. And then I do it. And then it's usually the best workouts where I don't feel it at all because I'm trying to prove myself something, I guess. But gymming helps me a lot, just clear my head.
Nice.
Yeah. And yours? What's your coping?
Guitar. I learned bar chords, so
Oh, amazing. When did you,
uh
just
mhm.
with YouTube or with a teacher?
I have a friend who's helping me out.
Oh,
Yeah, he's teaching
amazing.
me. He's
Oh,
the
so
same
cool. I
guy I
think you
made.
told me about this last
Yeah,
time.
yeah. I think I mentioned it. Same guy who I made some music with. And he's just a stellar guitar player and really good guy.
How does it feel? Like, do you feel like it helps you with stuff, playing guitar?
Yeah,
Learning something?
I'm learning. I think it's just that repetition too. Like I pick it up every day. Music kind of takes away the racing thoughts in a way.
Yeah, it's like a habit. And
Yeah.
that really like a beautiful one because yeah, it helps.
So that's been good. Um, yeah, I've been journaling and I've been using your meditation app, that meditation app you shared.
Yeah, it's good.
And
Do you
oh
like
my
it?
gosh. Yeah, I've been using the same guy that you recommended too, David G.
Oh, he's amazing.
He's
I
great.
love
His
him.
voice is just so great. It's just like this deep,
But I
timbrous
love he
voice.
always says something funny at the end, and I forgot what it is.
Oh,
He's
from the
like from
sweet
the
spot
sweet
of the universe.
spot.
Yeah, that's like his thing. We looked it up and that's his thing.
No, I love it. Like he's so cool.
I'm doing the deep heal. We've been doing the deep healing one every night. And
That's a long one.
it says like if you listen to it for 55 days, your brain will change. So I'm like waiting for it.
Yeah. No, I think that helps. Like meditation is incredible. It really does help. So
um Did you want to talk about? I know that we mentioned potentially talking about books. I don't know if you have that. I know a lot has been going on.
I mean, I do have some stuff that helps me. I don't know if it would help some of you, but there's some stuff I read and I think about it, and it kind of helps me process things. And it's, for instance, I've got like a little quote over here that I'm going to read out loud because it helps me reading these things. Because you
Yeah.
do have control to some extent, like even if you oftentimes don't feel like you have control over your mental state or emotions. Your immediate reaction does not tell who you are. It is how you decide to respond after the reaction that gives you real insight into how much you have grown. Your first reaction is your past, your intentional response is your present. So I kind of like these sort of things because you don't have to identify with how you reacted to things in the past, how you lashed out on people. Because I know with my bipolar, when I'm triggered, I tend to get really upset too. And sometimes I say hurtful things. And then I feel like bad for a couple weeks. Like there's always triggers for me at least. So reading things like that just like reassures me that I can work through it also by going to therapy and stuff. Um, and then I think I have another one. Something that's also been really on my mind is learning to let go of things, not holding on to things. Because sometimes I feel really guilty, and guilt has been a huge thing that I've been struggling with my bipolar,
Mm.
especially during the depression. Like guilt of not getting shit done, guilt of treating people not the way I would have liked to you know, that I would like, for instance, when I'm depressed, I don't reach out to my friends. I'm not a good friend, and kind of letting go of that and allowing yourself to heal. So I've got this other quote that says, let go more than once. Let go when an old pattern wants to drag you back into the past. Let go when narratives run wild in your mind. Let go every time you try to cause yourself extra trouble. There's healing in repetition. Soon, peace will feel familiar.
That's
So I kind of
beautiful.
like that one a lot too. Yeah. So it's those little things that kind of stick with me. And I have like notes in this book. And I come back to those whenever I feel like when I'm beating myself up over stuff.
Yeah, I like that reaction. You don't judge yourself based on your reaction. You judge it
Yeah.
on what you do next. Because
Yeah.
it's kind of like when you go to the doctors and they hit your knee and your knee goes forward, or they
Mm,
like it just happens. Like it's
yeah.
not necessary. You're not in charge of that all the time.
Mm,
That initial reaction, I like that a lot. That's a really good way to look at it.
yeah.
And that gives a self a little grace. Because if I
Just not
do,
being so hard on yourself.
yeah,
Because what matters is that you're trying to heal, that you're trying to get better, that you're getting the help you need, not being afraid of getting the help you actually need, and really putting one foot ahead of the other. And that's all that matters. And that's something you can be really proud of. It's
it,
progress, and even slow progress is still, moving forward.
yep.
Yeah.
Thanks for sharing those. Those are great quotes. Um, and I think we're wrapping up here, but so I'll just rail off here. Do we want to do that one? Yeah, okay. So since we're talking about giving ourselves grace,
Mhm.
what is some advice you would give your past self? We've done this in the last episode, but
Mhm.
what is advice you'd give your past self as you're going through it?
Not practicing more positive self-talk, not being so extremely harsh on myself, not judging myself so much. Just being more open, being more free, um, taking each day as it comes. Um, yeah, just not being so, stuck in my thought patterns. Like when I feel something coming up, like going for a run, like these little tips that I didn't have when I was younger and stuff.
So just that's great. You've
Coping
been you
mechanisms, I
have you
guess.
been going for runs?
Well, at the gym, I have.
Mm,
And then what helps me is walking Rufus, my dog.
yeah,
um,
Rufus.
now again, since he's back from the vets.
Yeah,
That really helps me. Just getting out, especially now since it's still winter, like that cold air on my face just really wakes me up.
nice.
And I wish I had known about these kind of things. I didn't have the strength either. And kind of knowing that now really helps me. It's like I religiously follow these steps. Even if I don't feel like it, I'm like, you're getting your ass out there now and like taking a walk.
And it's weird how that initial like, oh, I don't want to, like I get
Mhm.
that. And then it's weird because you go and do it and you're like, I'm glad I did that.
Yeah, no, for sure.
Okay,
So
well,
what about you?
oh, let me see. I'm gonna try to think about a specific time. Um, I'm gonna talk to myself kind of right when I was uh going into the last behavioral spot. Hey, buddy, you're gonna stay here. You're gonna go through a lot of confusing moments,
Mm,
and you're gonna need to just stay and see it through because you have a
mm,
beautiful family, you have a beautiful wife. You need to get back to them, but you can't go back until you are ready, and you will be ready. You're
yeah,
gonna do the work. You're gonna do those things I was just talking about, and make it work. So
having like a sense of trust in yourself and in your journey, I suppose.
yeah, trust yourself, trust trust that that your confusion will go away.
Yeah.
And
And that
so
everyone has your best interest at heart, you know?
yeah.
Yeah, for sure.
Thank you,
No,
Zoe.
thanks for sharing.
Yeah. Okay, last question. What is something you're most looking forward to on the coming week?
My piano class.
Nice.
Um,
What are you learning in piano right now?
Very classical like pieces, like a lot of technique, which is amazing. Like she's so intense, but I love it.
But I love it. I
Like
love
she's like, it's the most boring thing that I have to do sometimes. But she's always like, no, still not 100%. Like she keeps pushing me and pushing me and pushing me. And every time I go back and I'm like, now it's perfect. And she's like,
She's like, no, not yet.
I
That's
love it though. Like that's good. Someone that's really, because she's been playing for like 60 years. Like she's an old lady
she
and she
knows
really,
what's perfect. She's put the 10,000 hours in,
yeah,
probably more.
yeah, for sure. So yeah, it's piano class, walking my dog, hopefully starting a job. I actually wanted to hear so much more about your, you know, job, etc. And
Well, that's what I'm looking forward to. I'm not I did a pros and cons. It's a CNA, certified nurse assistant, and
Mhm.
for the retirement facility my grandparents live in. And so they would train you on the job. So they'd pay for your class, you'd work, you'd go to class,
Oh,
you'd get your
that's awesome.
certifications. And I did a pros and cons of it. It's not uh like there's some nitty gritty of the job. You're basically helping bathe people sometimes, you're helping clean them, you're feeding them, you're lifting
Hmm.
them up and down, and you're cleaning their sheets, you do. So it's not for everybody. But
Yeah,
I think like the carrying aspect really would speak to who I want to be and
yeah.
who I am in part.
It also makes you feel good because you're helping people all day.
Yeah. I
And
don't think I would carry too. Sorry, what was that?
mm, no, I just feel like caring for people isn't only being there for them during the, pretty times, like good times. It's like really also, especially in like a facility like that, it's really also the stuff that's like not so nice. And
Yeah.
you can make that experience for them much more comfortable.
Yeah, exactly. And I'm not super squeamish, so when it comes to human bodily functions, but
Mm.
I'm at the point where I'm like I've weighed the pros and cons, and the pros outweighed the cons, so it's now more of like a pulling the trigger and applying
Mm.
situation. And Tabby and I look forward to going to the gym because I pick her up from work and then we go straight to the gym,
Oh,
and
that's nice.
we like sit next to each other on the treadmills and we talk. And so that's something I look
Oh, I
forward
love
to.
that.
So I think today is going to be
Awesome.
like a deciding day of whether or not I apply.
Yeah, I think it sounds amazing, but I do get the potential difficulties that come with it because it's also intense. But I
Yeah.
think it's something you would really enjoy, especially since you're a really caring person.
I
And
just
why
don't
not
want
try
to.
it?
What's
No?
that?
Why not try it? Maybe you could even do like a job shadowing kind of day to see.
I think that's a good idea. If I get accepted, actually, it's funny. My cousin said the same thing. She said you should try a job shadowing.
Yeah.
So I think if I get like accepted, I'll say, hey, I just want to like be sure, and I want to see if I can job shadow. So I'll take that advice. Both you
No, for
and my
sure, do
cousin.
it.
It seems like a good idea.
No, I think so too, because it gives you a bit of like, some better insight into it. But that sounds awesome.
So that's what I'm looking forward to.
Mhm. That's a big thing and that's happening this week or next week?
It's kind of just when I pull the trigger. Like I think it'll be this week, but I might give it, a couple more days and let it really soak in because it's pretty new. It's a pretty new
Yeah.
idea.
Yeah.
But
No, definitely try it. That's awesome. I'm excited for you.
thank you, Zoe.
Definitely gotta let me know how it goes.
Oh, I will.
Yeah, no, for sure. And you can tell us next time.
Yeah. All right. Well, Bipolar Bears out. It has been real.
Thanks for listening.
Yeah. Thank you, Zoe. All righty.
See you soon.
Bis zum nächsten Mal.
Bye bye.
Bye.